We're joined by Matt Roas, Senior Vice President, Global Sales for Qatar Airways at Seatrade Maritime through Connect Global. And we're going to be talking to Matt about how Qatar Airways focuses on the seafarer and providing services for that market. And firstly, Matt, thank you for taking the time.
Thank you for the opportunity, Marcus. It's a pleasure to be here, especially for me as someone, my first time at Seatrade Crew Connect.
Excellent. Matt, let's just start off. Why has Qatar Airways specifically targeted the seafarer market?
It really starts with our country's heritage. So Qatar is famously a seafaring nation. It was a fishing community primarily, in the 19th century, and very involved in the pearling industry. So that's the heritage that establishes a connection with the sea. Fast forward to today, we're very conscious that seafarers and the shipping industry play a prominent role in global trade, and that involves moving people from home to ship and from ship to home. Likewise for the cruise industry, moving staff around the world to help organize cruise itineraries and make great experiences for cruise customers. So when we combine these things, we see ourselves as part of a wider ecosystem, and we think it helps us working with business partners and the kind of partners we're at Crew Connect with. So working with those partners, we understand the requirements of this industry, and I can confidently say better than any other airline.
You mentioned the requirements of this industry. What are some of the unique requirements that this sector has?
Well, some of the requirements are in common with all travelers, but some of them are quite specific to the maritime travel. So it starts with the network and the schedule. So you need to be able to be flying from the places seafarers originate to the places they need to get to. Possibly more important is doing that in an operationally reliable way. So we know from our business partners, time is money. Moving their crews efficiently and reliably is part of the game. We like to think we can deliver that. The third factor I'd point to is about the product and service and the customer experience. We've always been at the forefront of customer experience. We've got one unique offering for seafarers, which is our Mariner Lounge at our home airport, Hamad International in Doha. And if I can point to a fourth factor that's unique and maybe a little bit behind the scenes, and it's the way we work with the B2B partners and the other players in this industry. Because maritime travel has some complex logistics around things like visas and permissions. So working through and being a good business partner and helping with processes called OK to board, as one example, that's also part of what makes it a special segment within the industry.
So quite a lot of different factors there. In seafarers come from locations that aren't necessarily as well served by some airlines as they might be. So does Qatar, you cater to those key locations, such as the Philippines?
Certainly we do. I think we have a very strong network presence where seafarers tend to originate. There's probably 3 hotspots in our network, and so that's the Southeast Asian nations like the Philippines. That's also the Indian subcontinent, and that's countries in Eastern Europe and Greece. And so we were delighted to have 3 of our cabin crew with us for this event. And our crew come from, specifically, Latrice from the Philippines, Drishti from India, and Stella from Greece.
Well, that's an excellent representation. Presumably, in terms of then reaching where the crew are connecting to and joining ships, does this hub through Qatar?
It does hub through Qatar, and it really goes to all corners of our network and even beyond, where we work with partner airlines. But the common factor is our hub, Hamad International in Doha. We're blessed because not only is Qatar Airways the world's best airline, Hamad International has recently been voted the world's best airport. So we bring a unique offering there. Whether you're a seafarer who might be maybe moving to one of our gas rigs in Doha itself, or connecting through somewhere beyond.
Well, that's very good for seafarers to be on the best airline and going to the best airport.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned earlier the Mariner's Lounge, and I think that's a very unique offering of Qatar Airways. Can you explain a bit about the benefits and how seafarers can take advantage of those?
Okay, so the Mariner Lounge is unique. I don't believe any other airline or any other airport has this kind of offering. So there's only one rule to get into the Mariner Lounge. You have to be a seafarer. You can show your seaman book at the door, or if you're being booked through one of our business partners, we try to automate the booking process. It's not about having the right credit card. It's not about a frequent flyer status. It's not about being in business class. It's all about being a seafarer. Now, in the lounge itself, we put in all the offerings you might expect in an airline lounge. So there's food and beverage and refreshments. I think with a little bit of a skew towards the cultures that make up the bulk of our seafaring communities. There's plenty of areas to relax. There's free Wi-Fi. There's a business center, which is more used for, Zoom calls to the family back home while people are in transit. We've got quiet areas for resting, showers. We've also got noisy areas where you might be able to tune into a Formula One event or one of the many sports we sponsor. So it really does cater to, I think, a full range of opportunities while people are in transit.
So essentially the full benefits of a business lounge, but with that twist towards the seafarer.
Exactly.
No, that's fantastic. Now, one of the things, though, is obviously seafarers in general do not book their own flights. So how do you kind of push these benefits out and make sure people know about these when they're booking the flights, the company?
Well, this is an ongoing challenge. This is why we have a sales team, because we're always reminding our business partners, our travel agents, the bookers, the shipping companies about these benefits. In fact, probably the best PR we have for the Mariner Lounge is that word of mouth among the crew communities. So if you start with the individuals, the travelers, we encourage them to enroll in our loyalty program, Privilege Club. It uses a currency Avios, which will be familiar to many travelers because it's also used by our partner, British Airways. And with the individual earning Avios, they can use them in all manner of ways across a number of airlines. They can also use them in our duty-free, in our airport in Doha, rolling up to the organization. So the shipping companies, we have a program for them called Beyond Business. Has a different currency. We call it Q Rewards. It's all about Qatar Airways, but it has the same kind of options. So points can be redeemed for flights, for upgrades. They can also be used for duty-free vouchers. So there's something there for the organization. And of course, we work with a number of business partners and travel agencies who specialize in this industry as well. So there's a lot of effort going into it. We like to think we've got all angles covered.
That's excellent. I think word of mouth is always the best recommendation.
Definitely.
I think it's good also you've got that corporate kind of encouragement in there as well. Just to kind of round this off, what does Qatar Airways kind of see for the future for the marine travel segment?
Well, we're a very forward-looking airline, and a lot of the things we do are there for everyone. So we've made 2 major announcements this year about our future product development. So most recently, just last month, we became the first airline to offer the Starlink internet broadband service. So ultra high speed, ultra low latency, on board for everyone. So that's an example of one product announcement we've made recently. We also announced the next generation of our award-winning Q Suite. That's for the business cabin. Both these product developments will roll out over the coming years. And that gives you a sense of the kind of airline we are, that we're always investing into the future. I think when we zoom in on maritime travel in particular, the key message is the work we're doing is here to stay. We're a long-term business partner for the entities we work with, and we're delighted to say the Mariner Lounge in particular is here to stay for our seafaring travelers.
That's excellent news, and I'm sure many seafarers have been very happy to hear that. And Matt, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.